Hello and welcome back to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. We are here to cover the news this week, and more specifically, one area of the news that's actually been quite successful, which is rare considering what we're about to talk about.
An area of the news that's been successful.
Okay, yeah, that's a bad start. This is why
top-notch news.
This is why I don't usually do the intros. Tom's not here because he narrowly avoided throwing himself off a cliff. Like this is the last time I spoke to him. He was playing with nature, and that never gets you far. But we're going to talk about DC tonight, the DC Fan Dome event, which I thought was a weird choice for a title. So we have brought along our DC expert here. We have Dan.
Don't. I'm not an expert.
No, you are now.
Well, that guy who was brought in for an interview on the BBC, like he was there for like a job interview, but actually got brought on. It's like,
He did an amazing job, though. Like, he tried to answer the question. That takes some serious balls.
Well, yeah, this is a little less serious. We're going to talk about Batman. So, and Russ, how are you?
All right, good. Thank you, Daniel.
Good. Cool. So we should just get straight into it.
No.
No, okay. What do you want to talk about?
You're the host.
Okay, cool. I found a really good conditioner. We should probably get cracking. Actually, I think that isn't very interesting. Yeah, hosting's not my thing, but we're gonna muddle through anyway. So DC Fandom had its positives, it had its negatives, but mostly positive. And when we talk,
I've heard really, like as a sort of a live event goes, it sounds like it was pretty good, really, and about as sort of good as it could be.
Been described as the best one of these like live stream events of the year so far.
They did it through their own. They made a website specifically for it, didn't they? And that was the only way you could watch it. So there was none of the sort of like you weren't just watching it on YouTube or Facebook and getting distracted by adverts and notifications. And there's been a couple of these that have run into like copyright issues with YouTube's automatic detection stuff and got taken offline and things like that.
It was what, 4 hours long as well. Like the whole thing was like 4 hours long, and it was over 2 days, and they managed to make it interesting. And everything they brought up, like they actually had stuff to show this year, and it wasn't just nonsense like they have done in the past. So this was really good.
It's remarkable that they had stuff to show, because a lot of it is like they haven't been able to film because of COVID. So it's just like what they could cobble together of what they got.
I thought they did a really good job.
They did. It looks like there's still quite a lot there.
Yeah, and it all looked, I mean, apart from the Snyder Cut, it all actually looked pretty interesting.
We'll get to the Snyder Cut.
Plays the cards early.
And my opinion of the Snyder Cut. I'm not big fry enough to be on his radar, because he had to go at a few reporters, didn't he, who slagged it off.
Yes, if you want to try and up your profile, now's the time to actually try and get him, like, criticize his film, because if he retweets you, if you're getting piled on fans, that's tons of exposure.
I mean, we've been slacking off Zack Snyder for years.
Yeah, Zack Snyder hipsters. I think we were there before. Well, I mean, has he made any good films?
Well, okay, that is a question.
Sort of.
Has he made any good films? Is 300 a good film?
I watched it once, liked it at the time.
Yeah. But even by the end, I was like, I'm getting a bit bored of slow motion heads flying off bodies.
Yeah. Dawn of the Dead was okay at the time.
I forgot about Dawn of the Dead. I do quite like Dawn of the Dead.
James Gunn wrote the script to that.
Pretty much just a remake, wasn't it? And realised
more of James Gunn into it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you put the slow motion segments back up to real speed, his entire filmography is about 25 minutes long.
Yeah, I always say it reminds me of that episode of Dark Place, or because it got Yankees Dark Place. It's like where they said any shot where there wasn't talking was considered for slow motion. That's Zack. I think Zack Snyder watched that. And
the episodes were coming in at about 7 or 8 minutes long, so we had to do something.
That's what I felt when I watched I think it was like The Watchmen, and I was just getting more and more annoyed throughout the movie. It's like, why is everyone in slow motion?
I didn't hate The Watchmen, because at least it stayed quite close to the actual comic.
It kind of didn't.
Did it?
Like it did, apart from the ending.
So if you think about how good Watchmen the graphic novel is,
yeah, true,
and how mediocre that film is, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't a huge success. Was it?
True.
I actually thought it made the mistake of trying to stick too close to the comics rather than doing its own thing, kind of inspired by the themes and ideas of it. But like it sticks close to the comic, but also gets lots of stuff completely wrong and completely changes some of the messaging, I think.
Yeah, so like Rorschach comes across as like a hero in it.
Yeah.
And like he's
rather than like this pathetic kind of like creepy weirdo.
Yeah. And which is what the TV series does really well.
Yeah, the TV series is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only watched like the first 3 episodes now.
Oh, yeah, you should. I've really enjoyed the Watchmen TV series. That did what I feel like a Watchmen adaptation should do.
It feels like it. Like it's completely different, obviously. It's set after the Watchmen, but it is like it does feel like it.
It sort of took that universe and ran with it and did something new.
Yeah.
Really like it. So DC fandom. Should we start with the good stuff then?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to go down this list here that I've got on another website, and we'll just talk about. I mean, let's talk about the Batman. Let's just kick it off, right? So we got a trailer for the Batman. Mm-hmm. It's one of those trailers that I've watched about 20 times and watched in slow motion as well to see every single frame, see if I can spot something. And it's really interesting. Some people have pointed it out already. Like for the first like three watches, I didn't know that the Penguin was in the trailer, and that was God, what's his bloody name?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah.
Like he's barely recognizable.
Yeah.
Like when they said that Colin Farrell was like cast for the Penguin, I was like, I don't really see it. And it's like they obviously didn't see it either, so they put tons of like makeup on him and prosthetics, and he probably put on a bit of weight as well. But yeah, he looks pretty interesting.
Yeah,
the Penguin.
So we're assuming that the one taping the fella up at the start, that's the Riddler. We're assuming, I'm guessing.
Possibly.
It seems quite Riddler heavy at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah. But the vibe I got from watching it was from the long Halloween like 12 issue series by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. That's like a whole kind of murder mystery where someone's leaving kind of like subtle clues. So it could be Riddler, or it could be someone else. You know, it could end up being like Long Halloween, where it ends up becoming like an origin story for Two-Face.
Possibly. Yeah. Well, the Harvey Dent's mentioned. Well, it's not Harvey Dent. Maroni's mentioned the Maroni trial, which is where Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face, isn't it, with the acid? So that
has been done fairly recently.
Yeah, I mean, but let's be honest. Batman's origin story has been done a few times as well. So, like, they even snuck it into the Joker. Like it's.
But, I mean, I'm hoping that this one will, you know, it'll be 2 minutes. You know, you're not going to get the whole bloody thing over again.
It's Sorry,
I'd be surprised if they do it at all.
I think so as well.
Because if you look at stuff like Spider-Man: Homecoming, they didn't bother doing the origin stories, and the film worked perfectly fine because we know it inside and out. So they don't need to do it with Batman anymore.
It's also like year 2, isn't it? They've kind of said that this is year 2, which plays into your Long Halloween idea as well, because that's like set like almost immediately after year 1, isn't it? So
origin story movies are all basically the same, and we've seen enough of them by now.
Yeah, someone's happy, then something bad happens in their life, and then they vow to avenge/seek revenge on whatever happened.
Yeah, so, we don't need to see them. Oh, this will make a great spot for a Batcave. That car looks pretty cool. I wonder if I could paint that black. Oh,
you always get the bit where they dig the shovel into the ground as well. Like, is that how you're going to build the Batcave? Is it like
10 minutes later?
Good luck with that. That might take a while. I was going to be Batman, but the back I just got from just digging the Batcave was just too much. So,
like in the Dark Knight, it was necessary. Because it had been a while. This is a completely new take on everything. But, you know, by now, people know who Batman is. So
here's what I'm excited about. And I was thinking about this earlier and how I was going to put what excites me about the Batman. And what it is for me is the Tim Burton Batman movies, the star is Tim Burton. Like Tim Burton is the pull for the Tim Burton Batman movies. The Christopher Nolan Batman movies, the star is Christopher Nolan. The pull is Christopher Nolan. The Batman versus Superman, God knows that film's a mess. But this is the star for this is Batman. Like it looks like someone's taken the Batman story and went, I'm just going to do Batman. I'm just going to do the Batman comics, which worked well with Spider-Man as well.
And the Batmobile looks incredible.
It looks great.
Yeah, it looks like one of the like old era Batmobiles. I think.
Yeah.
It's like the Andy O'Neill era Batmobile, I think. It has
that really cool
classic Batmobile look, which looks awesome.
Blue flame out the back as well.
Yeah,
beautiful. It's quite visceral as well. So something we talked about this a bit, Dan, like that some of the violence just like is like bone crunching, like you hear it.
Yeah, like I was like, did he kill that guy? Because like the guy comes up to him, like beats him across the face, breaks his arm, puts the guy on the floor, and then continues to punch him, and you can hear bones crunching.
And squelching. Yeah,
it's like
definitely kills people.
It probably killed that guy.
Iterations of Batman.
I just think the people of Gotham are made built better.
Story parking. I didn't see him hit the ground. It's not my fault.
I always like in Tim Burton when he goes, I don't kill people, I don't kill people, I don't kill people, but I will have Gatling guns on my plane. Like it just in case I have to shoot balloons. I don't know.
Tim Burton's Batman killed people all the time.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Like he blew up a whole factory full of people. And
he did.
Well, but he was using a remote control Batmobile at the time, so he wasn't actually behind the wheel.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. But I always think that like the enemies of Gotham are made of stronger stuff. Like you just like they're always beaten to shit, but they never die. But like, and that's mostly because they just tell us, but they didn't die. It's amazing he survived. That kind of thing. But it reminded me of something. Someone's already compared the trailer to this Daredevil. Like, I get the feeling they watched Daredevil and went, "Let's do that."
The sort of the style of fighting.
Yeah.
I think it's also the case. Like, people still think that this is the Twilight sparkly vampire guy. So we've got to make. He's a good actor, but they've got to try and shake that thing that he was once a sparkly vampire, and so that's why they have him like beat the absolute crap out of someone in that one frame, kind of make him look awesome.
Yeah, like I think it really kind of buries it. I love the suit as well, by the way.
The suit looks awesome, and like he looks great in it, I think.
Yeah, totally agree.
And I like the idea of seeing a young Batman or younger.
Yeah,
Batman.
and the makeup over the eyes as well.
Like, the fact that he takes the mask off and you actually do see that. Yeah, because I think they got sent up a bit in is it Kick-Ass? With Nicolas Cage's character, where before he puts the costume on, you actually see him just paint his eyes black. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's also just like the start, like makes it sound more detective-y as well. I know it sounds weird. So like you see, my favorite shot is when he's walking into the crime scene and you see the FBI agents just staring at him. Like this is something that's relatively new still.
Yeah, having Batman as a detective in the movie is I don't know if they've done that in any of the films yet properly.
No, I think they find it difficult because I think in people's eyes, Batman goes and punches people. But what they don't realize is he's got to find the people first before he can punch them.
Yeah, well, like his comic he started out in was Detective Comics.
Exactly. He's the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, he's the world's greatest detective, or the Dark Knight detective.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think with this, the world they're setting up, they can get away with a fair bit as well. So like they could, this is the kind of, with the Nolan stuff, you couldn't get away with Robin without a sly wink in Dark Knight Rises.
No, because they made it too grounded, I think, in that sense.
Whereas this, I think you could probably get away with like having a decent Robin in there. Admittedly, he'd be about
Gotham. It just was New York. Like by the last one, it was just they were just using helicopter shots of New York with the same.
It was
Chicago, wasn't it?
Chicago, yeah.
But they had like the Wall Street fight and the way the bridges came down. He left it as the island. It just was Manhattan. They probably filmed a lot of it in Chicago because you can't. In New York is the most expensive place to film in the world.
Did a tour where they were going through the landmarks of Chicago, and every other landmark was. And you remember this bit from the Dark Knight movie, and it's like, this is the bridge where the Joker, and it's like, yes, I remember that. And then a bit further on, and this is the other bit of road because they obviously closed off this whole chunk of road for the Dark Knight.
The lorry car chase was through some very sort of central bits of Chicago, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, definitely.
I think like because they've chosen Glasgow for this. For some of the filming of this, you can like really kind of see everybody has that kind of gothic look that you'd expect Gotham to have.
I was about to say,
I think that's what we've kind of missed since like the Tim Burton and even the Joel Schumacher years, where they did kind of make Gotham kind of a very kind of stylized, over the top gothic place, and it'd be cool to see that in films again, but kind of done not necessarily in such an over the top way, but don't have it too grounded like the Christopher Nolan ones either.
Yeah,
you know.
That's what I think they're going for. Like, if you get the Riddler right as well, he can be terrifying. You can make him really scary.
It would be like the Zodiac killer, or
exactly.
So
I didn't even thought of that. That's exactly.
That's the vibe they're going for, isn't it? Like creepy, taunting serial killer. You know,
even down
to the police.
Even down to like the way, like he's got the cryptogram on the card as well, which apparently people have already worked out. So like stuff like that, you can have a lot of fun with the Riddler in a film. I think I think this is going to be great. Other people I've heard mentioned is that, like, with the way the guy's head's taped up, is that it could be Hush as well.
Yeah, could be Hush, or it could be Harvey Dent. Well, I don't think it's Harvey Dent, but like,
no, we haven't seen Harvey Dent yet, though, have we?
No.
But it's I'm just really excited about this film. I for so long I've just wanted a Batman film that's just Batman from the graphic novels and the comics, and I think this is going to be what we're going to get. So, moving on, Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, it looks fun. So much fun.
It looks silly.
Yeah, it looks. I'm actually kind of looking. I'm really looking forward to this one. I wasn't a complete huge fan of the first Wonder Woman movie. Maybe just because she's one of my favorite comic book characters. I'm a bit of a kind of purist about representations for her. But this looks pretty cool. Like her using the lasso, a bit like Thor using his hammer to fly and.
Oh, is she like riding the lightning bolts with it? That is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that looks awesome. Something new I have not seen as well from the character. So, and
it's got Pedro Pascal in as well. And I'm at a point
now
where
go wrong with him.
I'll watch anything with him in, except for Game of Thrones, apparently. But it's.
I would argue that he is at his sexiest in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I've heard Game of Thrones. He's awesome. That's where I first saw him, and what's kind of endeared me to him ever since that. Because I loved his character in Game of Thrones.
It's amazing how sexy he is in The Mandalorian, and you can't see like an inch of him. Like, but he's still like.
And when you do see him, his like hair's all messed up and he's all beaten
bloody
up.
as fuck. Yeah, it's just. But yeah, there's something about him. I think it's the way he protects Baby Yoda. I think that's it. The child, sorry.
One of it does look very cool, and like they're just really leaning into like the 80s vibe and how they can have fun with that.
I think the first trailer for it was one of my all-time favorite trailers, with the Blue Monday mix.
Yeah, I mean that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, told you absolutely nothing about the film, but I still thought it was awesome. Steve Trevor has the potential to get a bit annoying, I think, in this. That's the only thing I'll say.
Yeah, the same thing. There's like that little joke at the end where he's like put on an outfit and he's got a bum bag, and I didn't find that particularly funny at all. No, it's like felt as like
I'll have to be quite sparing. That sort
of I'm worried it's going to be a bit California Man, like just like, oh look, the joke is that he's not born in the 80s. He's not lived in the 80s. And it's like,
but so they didn't even do that with Captain America, did they? Really, that much? Or they did it subtly and
had a list. He had a list of things he didn't understand, and that was kind of hilarious.
Yeah. They were very good at not going too big on that.
Yeah.
So when they do it, like when he goes, I got that reference when somebody mentions was it Snow White or something.
Yeah.
He just looks really pleased with himself.
And he's asked to check things out, and you see the list, and it says like Steve Jobs. Nirvana.
Well, apparently that list changes as well, depending on which region you watch it, which country.
Oh, really?
There's different stuff on that list.
Oh, yeah. There's about 5 or 6 different versions of that list, depending on where you are.
Nice. So I feel a bit like Captain America, where I work sometimes, if I'm honest with you. When I see some of the stuff, I have no idea what's going on. I'm trying to engage with a teenager and go, new Taylor Swift album's good, and them immediately thinking, well, I hate that now then. But yeah. Wonder Woman 1984 looks really good fun. It's due out in October? Really? Yeah.
I'd take any release dates with a pinch of salt. Bear in mind that nobody's really going to see Tenet. Or Tenet, or however you're meant to pronounce it.
Have you not heard that it's saving cinema, though?
Well, that's what everyone says, but it's, nobody's really going. I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable going to a cinema at the moment.
You know what? I might go to a cinema because everyone I know that's taken a picture of, I'm back at a cinema, they are the only people in the cinema.
Yeah, so it's probably actually good to go in the cinema now while no one's going, because then you can just enjoy it with hardly anyone in there talking for it. And
but like they're making in the marketing, they're making quite a big fuss of like only in theaters, and I do wonder. I would not be surprised if it pops up as a premium rental on like Apple TV or something remarkably soon.
Yeah, only in theaters, unlike Mulan, which is going to be 30 quid extra on Disney Plus.
Yeah, didn't it say in some of the trailers for the DC fandom, like the Batman one, it said only in theaters?
Yeah, but the Batman's not out till next year.
It's not till next year. I thought it was a bit of a weird thing to say.
Yeah, and they've got there's no commitment there. If things change, things change.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's it is an odd one, but Wonder Woman looks good. Excited about that. Right, moving on then. Okay, so next on the list, I wanted to say that, but let's talk about it now. Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
I skipped past this. I couldn't be bothered.
I watched it because I watched. I think every clip they showed was completely new, and I watched the whole thing and went, this still looks terrible. Like every clip is new, never seen before, and I still think, but I don't like any of these either.
It really makes me wonder how much they film for it, because it's not just every clip is new. It looks like whole new storylines exist within there that wasn't in what we saw.
That just says that there was a very messy production process. And they filmed way more than they actually needed, and there's probably a very lengthy editing job to try and get it down into a vaguely comprehensible movie, and all he's done is just shove a load of that back in, finish the special effects, and what we've got is probably going to be basically the same movie but just even flabbier. I mean,
with dark
if you've got 4 fucking hours to sit and watch this, then you've got far more time in your life than I have. I'm not going to watch it. I mean, I've got zero interest in watching it. The film it's based on was fucking bobbins. And, even despite those things, the whole frothy wankdom that's brought this about are utterly despicable. I don't like them getting any victories.
I'm actually going to be kind of charitable to them. I don't like these movies, but these people were kind of like fans of the Snyderverse and his particular style with like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. So like, I think it's fine if they've got this film that they need to acknowledge that
they only got the win because they need something to go on HBO Max that's going to get people to sign up for it.
Yeah, like but basically, Warner Brothers wasn't going to do it unless they thought they could make some extra money out of like a film that's they probably wasted a ton of money making in the first place. So, yeah.
But I've already started seeing that. You know what? I rewatched Batman vs Superman, the director's cut, and it was actually pretty good. No, it's not. It's dreadful.
It's really not. It's an incoherent mess.
Yeah,
it's one of the most bizarre films I've seen. Like in terms of how bad and odd it generally is.
They did not have an ending for that film, did they? Like they didn't. They like a quick. Oh God, Zach, you said we'd have an ending today. We're meant to be wrapping up. Hang on. What's his mum's name? I got it. You can imagine all of them crowd around going, and both their mum's names are Martha, and everyone going, we just want to go home. Fucking hell. Yes. And then like a director's cut going, no, but you got to watch the director's cut, which he said about Watchmen as well, didn't he? Like you got to watch the director's cut with the Black Freighter stuff in. I'm like, cool.
I'm sorry, but if the film you released wasn't good enough in the first place, and it's not a director's cut.
No.
It's just like
more shit.
Yeah, it's just extra scenes. It's just stuff we had to take out because it was running too long.
Yeah, it's like a DVD with some deleted scenes, but they've forgotten to put the menu structure in it, so they just all play.
They just shoved them in the film somewhere.
I'm with you, Dan. More power to people that actually sit and enjoy this. Fine, that's up to them. I didn't like Zack Snyder laying into reporters saying this doesn't look very good. And just like
those reporters are 100% correct.
Yeah, like so just riding a wave of this frothing, like ravenous fan base that are desperate for this film, and Zack Snyder's going, get him, he's a dickhead. I'm like, I'm not a big fan of that.
No, it's not cool. Never acceptable under any circumstances. The job of critics is to critically appraise stuff, and if something doesn't look very good, it's their job to say that.
Even if it looks amazing and they just don't like it, that's up to them. Yeah. That's they've got that job. So, Yeah, I don't really understand how, as you say, how much was filmed of this film. Like every single scene looked completely different, and
was there actual with the actors new photography done for this?
No,
I don't think so. I think they had what was there. Yeah. So like it's probably still not even fully Snyder's vision, because he still had to leave production before he'd actually finished filming it.
Yeah.
And like Joss Whedon came in and they reshot a lot of it. So it's still probably not going to be completely what he wanted.
This is going to apparently have more dark, edgy Flash. And that's like
dark, edgy Flash. You'd see a little sequence of him like rescuing some like woman from being hit by a car.
And like I didn't like the Flash, I'll be honest, in Justice League.
No, he's kind of annoying.
I'm quite happy for more Cyborg. I thought Cyborg was quite cool. And it's like the other thing is I thought most of the actual, I think Ben Affleck as Batman was all right. I quite liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought
he was when he hadn't been beaten down by the whole thing and actually cared about it. By the end, he did not want to be in those movies anymore.
Henry Cavill's fine as Superman as well. I quite like him. He's really without his weird lip. Yeah.
He's better in Mission Impossible Fallout.
He is. He's better as Geralt. And he's better when he's building a PC as well.
How would you have reacted if in that PC building video he was in his full Witcher costume, including wig and contact lenses?
I don't think I'd have made it through the whole video, if I'm honest with you.
Thermal paste all over the place.
Just Roach poking his head through the window. Yeah. It's I'd say I think the problem with a lot of the DC films hasn't been the actors, hasn't been even the characters. I think they've done a decent job. Just I think the problem's been that no one seems to have put any effort into thinking what would this character actually do.
Well, it's because the problem is Zack Snyder, and David S. Goyer are probably blamed for a lot of the problems with it.
They just can't seem to get rid of them, though, can they?
No. I mean, I thought that was kind of it for him now. I thought once he does this Snyder cut, that's kind of it. Because from looking at all the DC fandom stuff they're showing, they've actually got a good looking slate of movies, and it's doesn't look like they're going for a homogenous continuity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they probably could if they wanted to. Like if they just make a kind of loose association of movies that further down the road, if they wanted to try and bring them together, they might be able to do that.
Yeah, I think they've very much given up on that idea for now because it just, you get Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
but they want to call it the multiverse, don't they? They want to bring it into like it being a multiverse. So.
Do you know what? You don't have to have a word for it.
No.
Just call it your movies.
That is, to be fair, that is already the word in the comics, isn't it? But so moving on then, there was a panel, I didn't see this, but panel for what is going to be the Flash film, directed by someone who was involved in Bumblebee, apparently, traveling through time to change the DC multiverse.
So they're going to use the Flash to basically create a new cinematic universe.
Basically, yeah. But it's going to be based on Flashpoint, apparently, which is a great storyline. But I don't think that's the first. I don't think you start with Flashpoint. I think that's like 2-3 films in.
Too, where he goes back through time and stops Ryan Reynolds making the original Deadpool movie.
But this is a whole film of that.
It wasn't the Deadpool. It was Wolverine. Origins?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Wolverine Origins.
Origins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's got Michael Keaton in it as Batman. It's going to have Grant Gustin's version of the Flash as well from the TV series. And they announced that Ben Affleck's going to be in as Batman as well.
So this does sound brilliant. It would be a lot more impressive if Spider-Man Spider-Verse hadn't happened and basically done the same thing.
Yeah, and
why they've chosen to do it. And it's not just the Spider-Man Spider-Verse, also the DC the TV series of Flash. That shows did like a whole. They've done Flashpoint already, and they'd recently done a Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they had like Brandon Routh being Superman again, and had Tom Welling from Smallville, and had all these kind of cameos. And even the Flash, Ezra Klein? Is that his name? Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Actually makes a guest appearance in that as well. So it's already been done with the TV shows.
And by all accounts, the TV series is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
like what I've seen of it,
nailed it. So
yeah. So like, I mean, that's the problem they've got by having, like, looking back at it, it's pretty silly having a TV series of the same thing of a film by the same company, right? Like, just in general. That's pretty weird. Like, just do one or the other.
I would say it's not if they'd made both of them really successful, but they haven't.
Maybe that's the problem, yeah. So yeah, apparently Michael Keaton's going to be in like full Batman costume and stuff, which sounds quite cool. There's got concept art for it.
I am here for that. That does sound good.
They showed all the characters and who they're playing in the Suicide Squad, and I'm quite excited.
Well, they also spent a very long time going, look, James Gunn, he's doing this one. It's going to be, there's hardly anyone from the first one in it. Don't worry.
Yeah, like the thing is, at least with this Suicide Squad, it's actually going to live up to its name, I think.
Yeah.
They've got a large cast of like all these different kind of villain characters. Hopefully a lot of them will get killed in various hilarious ways. Because like, what's the point of having a Suicide Squad unless they,
It's only two of them got killed in that. And one of them was only in it for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it was very obvious he was going to die because he didn't get like a flashy intro like the other ones did. He just turns up, and then in the next scene he's like dead.
I get a feeling this is
who from. It's basically just Harley Quinn and
Boomerang and Rick Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Amanda Waller.
Yeah, Amanda Waller.
She's not part of the team, is she?
No, but I'm glad they managed. They obviously went through and picked the characters they liked from the original Suicide Squad film. Went, who do we need? Do we want Will Smith taking over this film? Like he kind of did with the Suicide Squad film. But it's that one. He's already said that he's going to kill off a load of the characters, like in this film. So, and that's kind of what it needs to be, I think. And it's going to have some silly sensibilities. My vision is that it's probably going to be. They've already said it's a 70s war film. And I think it's going to be 70s war film meets that scene in Deadpool 2 where his entire team dies in about 5 minutes. But I think that's going to be the whole film.
Yeah,
like,
that's my initial thing. If I was to make a Suicide Squad film, that's the film I'd want to be. That's the film I'd make, or that's what they should have done with the first one. Yeah, like the whole premise of this one, it looks like they're basically being sent in like a kind of a covert ops group that they can, that America can have like plausible deniability of being involved with, rather than the premise of the first Suicide Squad film where like, oh, we want to get a team together to deal with any like Superman level threats. So we're going to get like a guy who throws boomerangs and like Joker's girlfriend to deal with that. it's like like these are the kind of people you want to deal with, like, superhuman level threats. So
and just the whole like, oh, it's a city. Don't worry if it looks a bit CGI, and don't worry, there's no civilians around. So blow up as many buildings as you like. There's zero consequences to anything.
Yeah, the first one was terrible. It's up there as one of my least favorite superhero films. The first one. Yeah, but this one looks genuine fun, and also he's just gone. If I'm going to be in this film, can I get my mates in it?
My brother has to be in it.
What do you want him playing? Do you want him in like a more serious role? No, he's going to play a weasel this time rather than a raccoon, which is just great. I love it. And then Nathan Fillion, obviously, as well, and Michael Rooker.
So I'm assuming all the characters are established DC characters.
I believe so.
I only recognise like a handful, like a couple of them, like a few of them.
Okay.
Like King Shark, I recognise.
King Shark looks great, by the way.
Yeah, he looks kind of overweight.
That's what's been said a couple of times.
An overweight King Shark. Harley Quinn, obviously. Like Michael Rooker's character,
Savant.
I recognise him.
Polka Dot Man, just because that's
Polka
hard.
Dot Man. I think I'm not sure if I've seen him before, but
it's Harley Quinn in classic Harley Quinn colours as well. And
it doesn't look like it's going to be objectified Quinn.
Yeah,
like it was in the previous movie.
Yeah, she looks like the Arkham Harley Quinn, which is cool.
Yeah,
I'm all for that. And so we might get to see actual Harley Quinn, like Birds of Prey. Have you seen Birds of Prey?
I haven't yet. No.
I've
heard good things about it. So.
It's fine. Like it's good. It's not brilliant. Like it would be better if they'd have gone full on like, fuck it, let's just do Gotham City Sirens. Let's just do Sirens. But it is just a Harley Quinn film.
Because I'm not really kind of sold on Harley Quinn necessarily being the center of a movie.
Yeah, and that's definitely what this is. Ewan McGregor's great in it as well, and the person who plays the Huntress, who's also what's her face she's Ramona Flowers, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh yeah,
she's really good in this as well, but she's not in it enough to. She should be in it more. But yeah, it's all right. But this has potential in my opinion. I'm quite excited about this. What else did we get? Oh, so we got a teaser for Black Adam as well, with The Rock just looking like The Rock, basically.
Yeah, like in the opening of that little sequence, it is just Rock just wearing like a jeans and t-shirt.
Yes.
By the looks of it.
Hi, I'm Black Adam. Really? Yeah.
So I don't know much about this one. What's the what here?
So it's going to be an origin story for Black Adam, which I think then leads to Black Adam being the villain in the Shazam film, I think.
Yeah.
So they said in this one it's going to have Hawkman, Cyclone, and Dr. Fate apparently.
Because I've seen like the extended kind of preview trailer, like where they've just got the images because obviously I haven't filmed anything yet. So it's some concept art.
Yeah, some of the concept art was pretty janky as well, but it's
it might be a promising kind of movie.
Well, it's their way of saying, look, we don't have anything to show, but fuck you, Marvel. Look who we've got in our films. Like we've got The Rock, and it's just we'll see debut of the Justice Society of America as well in the movie. So interesting. But then they also, as a result of that, announced the title of the next Shazam film, which is called Fury of the Gods. I really liked Shazam.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's just really silly, really fun. It was big with superheroes, and it didn't shy away from it.
No, like there's even that great little moment where he like lands on that keyboard.
Yes,
and starts walking along like it sounds like it's going to do that tune from Big, but then like the villain's just like dung 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 dung.
That was great, and someone has offered to reshoot Shazam because they didn't think it was serious enough. I'm like, the fuck do you want? Come on!
Didn't they actually edit?
Oh, that's
they do
it.
A special edit of Shazam that's basically to kind of fit in with the Snyderverse version, where it's going to be like a darker version of Shazam.
Well, I just loved it, and because they go, and it's going to have an actual Superman cameo. It's like, well, but that was what's hilarious about it. It's clearly not him. Like it's. Did you just see like the chest? I thought that was amazing. I thought that was hilarious.
Just go, like, congratulations, you've completely failed to understand this on any level whatsoever.
Yeah, this kid's film, you've completely failed to understand. Yeah,
but it's not like it's got like he is silly because he's a kid, even when he's not a kid. But the actual film has got some quite dark stuff in it. His relationship with his mother and how he ended up in the care system. That's quite grim. It's and the scene, and this is probably a spoiler if you haven't seen it, but the flashback of how he remembers getting lost, and then when you see the same scene again from his mother's point of view, and it's exactly the same. There's no dialogue differences. It's just in people's intonations and how it's shot and the look and feel of it, and it just gives the same scene a completely different meaning. That's really well done. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was. They've done a couple of good ones now, haven't they, DC? That they're kind of inching their way.
They're not an automatic joke like they used to be.
No, exactly. It's not like I'm not looking forward to this because I know they're going to fuck it up, kind of thing. Just kind of wish they hadn't kind of jumped in with Batman versus Superman and the Justice League, but there we go.
It was going too big too soon.
Yeah.
They obviously felt that was their only option.
There was an Aquaman panel apparently where they teased an eventual Aquaman sequel. This is the world we live in now. That's exciting news, guys. Sandman as well. Titans season 3 will feature Batgirl, Barbara Gordon as well.
Never finished watching Titans season 2.
I quite liked it.
Did you watch first? Because the first season, actually surprised me. I didn't think I'd like it because it had a very kind of like grim, angsty tone, but it worked. And then like I watched like the first episode of the second series, was kind of put off by the really bad CGI monster. Like it's like they held off finishing this series and they still come up with like a really like cheap looking CGI mess. And then I watched a couple of episodes after that and the tone was just completely different. Like it was like a different show. Like it's all kind of quite light-hearted and
I really liked it.
Jokey,
like
but...
so I didn't think they got Dick Grayson right in the first season, and it annoyed me. Like to the point where
I really liked Dick Grayson in the first series.
Oh, really?
I like the fact that he was kind of like he was kind of dark and violent, but that was like a problem. Like he just left Batman, but like Batman had left this like effect on him where he'd been kind of a bit traumatized by that experience, and he's also trying to find his own kind of way. So I kind of liked where it kind of left off from there.
Season 2 is it's pretty good. I really liked it. Also, the costumes look like shit. Like all of the costumes look like shit in that show. Particularly, God, what are they called? The couple.
The Hawk and Dove. Is that it?
That's the one. Yeah. Those costumes look terrible, but yeah, it's Jason Todd being in it was a nice little addition as well. I quite like that. So apparently this one's going to have season 3 is going to have the Scarecrow in, which is my favorite Batman villain. So
cool.
So I'm probably almost like, you can imagine they could do quite a good job with that as well. Like
Scarecrow works really well, sort of visually.
Yeah, fear-inducing drugs and stuff. That's quite cool. Which I'd imagine will then lead to the Joker, because that's kind of like a hop, skip, and a jump, isn't it? So yeah.
I would maybe think that people are a bit jokered out.
Yeah.
We've seen quite a few iterations of the Joker in a fairly short space of time.
Well, that and the fact that the latest version of the Joker is pretty damn good as well. And like, it's one of those ones where I think maybe just leave it for a bit now.
Yeah, give it a good number of years and see what you can do with some other villains for these characters.
We got to see some games as well. So we got Gotham Knights, which I think has pissed off a few people, because all we've been hearing is that Rocksteady's working on the next Arkham game. They're not working on the next Arkham game, and then they announce it and you don't play as Batman. You play as everyone but, basically.
But we've had like 4 games playing Batman. It's fine.
Exactly.
I'm up for this game. It looks good.
I quite fancy playing as Nightwing. Like, Nightwing's one of my favorite DC characters. So
yeah,
Dick Grayson in general. So yeah. Or Batgirl. Batgirl looks really cool in this as well. And customizable outfits, because the ones that they show in the trailer look shit. So that's handy. And the Mr. Freeze, and it looks awesome. Like, I think he's going to be like a good chunk of the game is apparently going to be based around Mr. Freeze. So I'm quite excited.
Multiplayer?
Yeah. So you're going to be able to play as co-op.
Oh,
like,
cool.
So I think it's going to be like drop in, drop out co-op as well. So that
that's awesome.
And it's going to have the Court of Owls as well. I love the Court of Owls. So, but that's what makes me think that at some point it'll just be like, and now you're Batman again, because like they've got the ability to revive people, haven't they? Like the Talons, they are dead people brought back to life.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think I'll play it anyway, because I love the Arkham games. And then the other game they showed was the Suicide Squad game, which I didn't think looked good at all.
Yeah, but I didn't actually see any gameplay. It just it was just a little sequence stuff. I thought did a decent job in terms of like characterization, and I thought it was kind of funny at the end. It's like, who's a target we got to kill? And it's like evil Superman. It's like, oh, fuck.
I like how they show that he's evil, because he's the guy that he's holding in his hand as well.
Yeah, like he just has that guy to think, oh, Superman saved that guy, and then like, he just nukes the guy with his heat vision. It's like,
maybe I did like it more than I thought.
You didn't really get much of a sense of how the actual game is going to work, but the art style, I quite like the art style, and it obviously has a good sense of humor. But yeah, that's just a pre-rendered trailer. That could be That could be
it's not until 2022 anyway. So yeah,
isn't it called Kill the Justice League? Or something like that. Or that was on a tagline. So
yeah.
So that seems to be basically the title of the game. So
yeah,
I mean that would be quite cool if you're working your way through them one by one.
That would be like each one's a different boss.
Yeah,
quite cool actually, wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, that sounds fun. That's about it. That's all we saw. I'd say all in all, I thought it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like I think I was pleasantly surprised by some of the stuff they showed, and not remotely surprised by the Snyder Cut clips they showed. Surprised in the sense of like, wow, there really is more of this.
It's hard to tell the difference between Darkseid and
oh my God,
Steppenwolf in terms of the CGI.
As I say, it made it more so like the GoBots to the Avengers Transformers.
Yeah.
Because you watch the GoBots and you go, I cannot tell which one is which. Because they all kind of look the same and none of them can move their necks. And it was like, which one's Steppenwolf, which one's Darkseid?
And the terrible choice of music.
Yes.
I have to say that.
Oh, God.
That's like the worst version of that song I think I've heard.
It's the original version.
Is it the original one? Oh,
yeah, that's the original version.
Is Zack Snyder all over, isn't it? Like, do you know what will totally blow people's minds? Let's use a song like this, but show scenes like this.
Yeah, it's this whole thing where Zack Snyder, he spends, it's like every little sequence he does is a commercial.
Yeah, well, that's the whole of Sucker Punch was that.
Yeah, like every kind of little slow motion sequence is just like he's making like a car commercial or something. Yeah. And that his film is just like 10 or 20 car commercials in one movie.
He should be like the guy they bring in to do set pieces. So you have a film, you go, I want a cool set piece. So just bring Zack Snyder in to do one part of a film. Because I think he's quite good at that. I do think he's genuinely quite good at that. But
he's got like visual flair, but he just doesn't tell a story.
And he's too over the top with his visual flair. Like,
yes.
There's again like excessive use of slow motion. You know, it starts to look very samey and kind of boring.
Well, it takes any kind of effect out of it at all. Like any kind of like, whoa, that looked cool. Like any moments like that, it's overdone. Do you know who did a good job of that? Joss Whedon with the Avengers. I just wanted to get that one in. I thought it was funny. So yeah, that's all. That's the DC news. A little bit of other news. Russ, you were talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah, so the sort of mysteries and uncertainty about how cross-generational compatibility is going to work continues. So the new Call of Duty : /Warzone Blackout Ops Drops 7, which I think is what the next one's going to be called.
Something like that, yeah.
One of the myriad editions that you can buy is going to be called the cross-generational edition, leading to everyone to come to the conclusion that if you want to be able to play it on your current gen console and the next gen console, you have to buy this one. And the cynic in me is thinking that this will probably come in at about 10 quid less than the cost of just buying the game twice.
Yeah. Yes.
In stark contrast to all the first party stuff where it's basically just you buy it on one, you buy it on another one.
Yeah. It sounds like, it reminds me of a kid when like you want a particular game for Christmas and your nan's going to buy it for you and you've got to make sure she gets the right one. You're going to be screwed in this situation with that.
Like, you know, we've talked about how consoles are just becoming PCs and things like that, but this is a real hangover. You know, you buy a game on Steam and you get a new computer, you just re-download your Steam library. You know, most of the apps and things that I use, it's all software as a service these days, and you just sign into your license on whatever machine you're using. Whereas these are, and you know, they will as they will remind you, you don't actually own the game when you buy it. You are buying a license to use it, and that license is only applicable to one model of hardware, which seems like a weird. When you look at it like that, it's actually a strange way of doing it. But obviously, they can wring some more cash out of people. Although, you know, with it being like Call of Duty has got to the point where it's basically like FIFA. You know, there's just one every year. And then, you know, you play that to death and then you move on to the next one and the next one. So I don't know really how many people are actually going to buy it on two consoles.
I dare say not many. Well, even the last gen, I think Call of Duty was one of the few that actually did you can upgrade for free. So that's interesting. Greedy bastard Activision.
So there's no backwards compatibility either?
Don't think so. So I think even if you buy the next gen one, you won't be able to buy the... Oh, no, there's a version that you can where it's going to be... You're going to get it on both. But this is the same Activision that now sells remastered versions of their old games with separate campaigns and multiplayers.
So I'm assuming it would be backwards compatible in that if you bought the Xbox One version, you'd be able to play it on the new Xbox, but it would be the Xbox One version. It wouldn't be the enhanced version. And you might have to wait for a while for it to get added to the backwards compatibility list, that sort of thing. But yeah, so certainly all the Xbox owned or Microsoft owned first party studios, you buy the current gen one, and that means you automatically get the enhanced version for the new console, which may all have completely new content and new textures and things. And
here's the thing: Microsoft don't give a shit where you play your game anymore. That seems to be the long and short of it.
They want you to sign up to Game Pass.
Yeah,
because that's I think it won't. In a few years' time, Game Pass won't be called Game Pass. It will just be called Xbox.
Yeah,
and
I think you're probably right.
It'll be a thing that you sign up to.
Yeah, probably like if the Google's, if like the Stadia type thing takes off with the streaming games, and I guess Xbox.
Exactly like we said back when the Xbox One was being launched. I'm pretty sure this next one will be the last physical edition of console.
Yeah, well, the point is they're not even in a console war with Sony anymore. They're doing two completely different things now.
Yeah,
two completely different takes on this, and it's benefit to us really. But it's still, if you want the most powerful console on the market, then get the Xbox Series X, which there's been rumors of pricing being around $600, which is too much for a console.
Because if you've got a PC, what's the point of having an Xbox at all? Because are there games that are just on the Xbox?
No,
you can't get on the PC.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Third party maybe. But first party games, all the new first party games will come out on PC as well as Xbox.
Yeah, I think the main benefit of it is it slots nicely underneath your telly and does a bunch of other media center stuff that you absolutely could do with a PC, but you've got to build it in the right type of case. You've got to set up a whole bunch of stuff. You've got to be a bit more nerdy than most people to set up a really good home media PC thing. Especially if you want it to do gaming and be your media hub. It's totally doable, but it's a lot of faff. And you spend a lot of time fiddling with, NAS settings and streaming codecs and all sorts of nonsense.
I'd like to build a PC in one of the tiny cases at some point. That appeals to me. I just want to build another PC. I bought that. I told you I bought that PC building sim.
Oh, did you buy it? The game?
Yeah, it kind of half scratches the itch.
Have you seen those like little micro PCs you can get that are just they're like a Fire Stick? So it's just an HDMI plug with a PC on it that's about that big. Because if all you're doing is streaming from a NAS, that's all you need. Yeah,
that's really cool. On the similar note, Control have been dickish. Who's that? Insomniac that make Control. In the sense that the brand new Control Ultimate Edition will be you'll be able to play on the current gen consoles and the next gen consoles, but the standard version of Control they won't be able to do that.
So this is basically the same thing, isn't it? You have to pay
a whole new game. Yeah,
premium edition.
Yeah, and there will be people that have bought Control with all the DLC, which is basically the difference, apparently, from what I understand, between the two versions of them. It's Control with all the DLC, with the exception that this one you can then play on the next-gen consoles. So people that have already spent all their money on the game and all the DLC because they loved Control are going to get properly shafted with this.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great at all. It's dreadful, in fact. But there we go. Any other news?
All of this is really making me think that I'm going to try and wait as long as possible to get the next Xbox.
I would, but Sarah really wants one.
It's not like I have huge amounts of time to spend playing games anyway. So, I'll just be jealous for a while and I'll wait for the inevitable price drop and smaller version.
It will be more powerful than my PC. That I keep telling myself that. But at the same time, does that really matter?
Well, it'll be more powerful than your PC for now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
but you can always upgrade your PC.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like brand new graphics cards coming out at the same time as the new consoles.
Well, the 30 series NVIDIA cards are coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, we could just now talk for another hour about PCs because the three of us, like, we haven't got Tom to
I think you
it.
might think that we're way more expert at this than we actually are.
No, I have no clue. No clue.
I still don't really know what a clock speed is.
I've kind of fallen behind on my PC knowledge. I basically learn what I need to learn each time I think, I bet I need to upgrade it. What's the process and situation like at the moment?
Dan, what is that you're drinking?
It's water.
It looks weirdly like
coffee or something.
It's in a dark thing.
Just the light, yeah.
It's a 2-liter bottle. So I drink my 2 liters of water every day.
Congratulations.
Exciting. That's about it, really, isn't it? We could probably wrap this up.
About an hour.
About an hour, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Thank you for listening / watching. If you want to contact us, hit us up at TMTOOH on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, all of them. Dan, you're on the interwebs, I believe.
Am I?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, not anymore. I'm on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow Dan on Twitter.
See me like my political ranting. Yeah, that's mainly what I do on Twitter.
Yeah, I did have a thought that we could try and suggest what should replace Land of Hope and Glory as prompts. I had Wayne County, if you don't want to fuck me, baby, fuck off, as my choice. But yeah. No,
okay. Yeah, but thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. Anytime. It's good fun, especially because you're our DC expert as well. Mm-hmm. So anytime we're talking DC,
anytime you need any deep knowledge on DC universe, backstories of all the new Suicide Squad film characters, I can look it up on Wikipedia for you.
Excellent. So we'll be back next week. Looking forward to seeing you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to get in there and say that because Tom never does. Thanks for listening, watching, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Are you going to say cue the music? You have to say cue the music.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Cue the music.